Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. This is Todd with Industrial Comfort. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to replicate a Spofford ballistic missile from scrap wood and a lathe. Now, I used to use these as a kid, and I've got a lot of fond memories surf casting with these, specifically for bluefish and striped bass. Now, they were invented in the late 1970s by a gentleman named Mr. Spofford out in Martha's Vineyard. And the originals were made from molded plastic with some embedded weights and a hook. I used a single for my replica, but you can use either that or a treble hook, which is what I've got here on the original. It's a super easy project. You can use literally scrap wood that you've got laying around in the shop. And I'll put a link in the description for where you can get the hardware to complete your lure. Let me show you how I did it. The first thing I've done is put a piece of scrap wood in this chuck here. Now this isn't ideal because it's not a round or square piece of stock, but I've lined everything up the best I could to get the hole drilled. Now this is, I think this might be cherry wood, I'm not even sure, but it's 5/8 of an inch thick by about 1 1/4 inches wide and then 6.5 inches long to kind of roughly match the shape of this ballistic missile. So I am going to turn the lathe on and I'm going to drill a 5/16 inch hole to accommodate the tail weight. I'll then switch out the bit to an 1/8 inch so that I can get a hole all the way through for the wire. Off camera, I flipped the blank around in the chuck and drilled in from the other side because the drill bit's not long enough for one single pass. So I take our wire, which is essentially going to hold all the components together once we're done, and I just pass through to make sure we got the hole all the way through. So we're good to go. I'm going to now turn this between centers and we'll get ready to shape. I took the blank off the lathe and I'm going to overlay this lure right onto the center of the blank, and I'm going to trace it with this permanent marker. And once we fire up the lathe, all you're going to see based on how fast the lathe is moving is the outline of the lure. That's going to tell us where to cut. Now I'm going to go a little bit I'm going to actually cut this off before I get it on the lathe, but I'm going to go a little bit higher because we're going to be left with an indentation from the from one of the centers on the headstock, and so I want to make sure that I sand that down. So I'm going to give a little bit of extra material up here, but let's get this back on the lathe and we'll start turning. Okay, with the outline done, you'll see when I turn the lathe on that you'll still be able to see the outline because this thing is going to be spinning so fast. So I'm going to use my roughing gouge to just trace the line here, sort of like painting by numbers, and we'll get the shape of the lure we're looking for, and let's get started. After a little sanding, I think we've got pretty much a replica. So we're going to move on to painting, which is, as always, my least favorite part of any project. Okay, the white has had time to dry, so I'm going to use this mailer little piece of cardboard or whatever to block the top here. And I'm just going to spray it with some red to give the nose a little bit of color here. Paint has had time to dry overnight. Before I do the final top coat, I'm just going to let it dry probably another 24 hours to get a full 48 hours. And what I'm going to do in the meantime is just put one of the eye stickers in place. I'm going to put them actually on both sides, and then we'll let it dry. Okay, with the paint now sufficiently dry, I'm going to walk you through the parts that you're going to need to assemble the lure before we clear coat it. Now, I'll put links in the descriptions for where you can get this stuff, but the first thing you're going to need is a wire, and then you're going to need a tail grommet, a nose grommet, a weight, and then a hook. And this is classified as a large weight. I can't remember how many ounces. I think it's close to about 1 ounce. And what you need to also make sure you do is drill out using a 5/32 inch bit the tip of the head or the nose of the lure, because the 1/8 inch drill bit that we use to core the lure is not wide enough to accommodate the nose grommet. And the first step is to take the wire, and we're going to feed it through the nose grommet, and we're going to pinch the wire so that it fits inside the nose grommet. We're then going to pass the wire through, and we're going to press the nose grommet into place. Then we're going to take the weight and feed it into the tail. Before we press it all the way in, we're going to take the tail grommet and slide it down onto the weight and push it into place. Now with that in place, we're just going to bend the wire about 45 degrees, and I'm going to take it over to my vise where I'll show you how to do the rest of the loop for the tail. Okay, with the pliers, about, let's call it, I don't know, about 1/3, maybe 1/4 of the way up, I'm going to grab it like this, and I am going to flip the wire around, and I'm going to twist it. Now, I can't really get underneath. I actually like using a screwdriver a little bit more than this, but we're going to then pinch the wire, and we'll bring over to the vise. Actually, you don't really even need a vise. You can grab the wire like this, and you're going to want to turn, pull that wire around about 2 or 3 times, and that's going to cinch everything off. We'll then take a wire clipper, and we'll just trim the wire right here before we put the hook on. Okay, with the tail loop now tidied up, I'm just going to take this hook, and they come with the loop open here. So I just slide it through, and it's really, really hard steel. So you've got to take a big old pliers and then crimp it together. For the final step of making this lure, we're going to clear coat it to give it some added protection. Now, I like to use some water-based concrete sealer. Now, this is called Dry Lock. It goes on milky, but it dries a clear, high-gloss finish. And I like this because we're going to submerge the entire lure, which is going to allow the sealant to get in to all the holes that we drilled so that it seals from the inside as well. Given that this is wood and it's going to be used in salt water, I feel like it's probably the best method to go ahead and clear coat and seal these lures. So the only thing that you need to do is dip it in. That's it. So we're gonna hang this up, let it dry, and then we'll do it another probably 2 or 3 times till we get a nice thick coat on this. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.